The Beatles are trash.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, whoa. I'm white, so I can't allow you to say that.
All right. So here's
Legendary is with the hot takes again.
No, listen.
Man, you're gonna
Can't let this fly. Not on my watch.
Darius
okay?
single-handedly is gonna have our Instagram on fire week after week.
Listen, bro.
I think we're digressing.
At me, baby. BeatlesAreTrash.com.
He said I said what I said.
What's happening, world? We are out here, YouTube.
What's good, family?
Welcome to the Music and Them podcast.
You know what it is.
Brought to you right here on YouTube and all the social medias, and sponsored by the DrumTrax app.
You know what to do.
Get it together. Download the DrumTrax app right now.
Links are
right
in the
now.
description. If you're trying to take your drumming to the next level, you need to sign up for DrumTrax Premium. We go live every single week on Saturday mornings. We do live workshops. We do live Q&As. Also, we have drumless play-along tracks. You know that. Over 300 drumless play-along tracks now on the app and on the website. You can stream. It comes along with DrumTrax Premium. Now, just in case you're one of those drummers that feel like you don't need drum lessons or any drum coaching and you're not trying to get better, but you just want to stream play along tracks in your practice, well, we have a DrumTrax streaming subscription as well. It's $5.99 a month. Links to everything in the bio. Let's get to it, y'all.
Yo.
Go practice.
Go practice, baby.
As soon as you're done with this video.
Watch this whole video and then go practice. Today we're going to be talking about legendary drummers versus advanced drummers.
Man. Or what it means to be legendary versus advanced, or can you be legendary and not advanced? Can you be advanced but not legendary?
All of these
definitions
things.
here?
Somebody look it up in Webster real quick. And tell me
The definition of legendary drummer as found in the Encyclopedia Britannica. It's crazy because this whole topic came up because this was like last year. Me and Somadi was... AKA Sticks, as the rest of you guys know him. We were shooting a video, and in the middle of the video, we just started talking about advanced drummers because, you know, drum coach Somadi's always talking about how he doesn't like to deal with the advanced drummers because they're stuck in their ways.
I love it.
But anyway, we started talking about advanced drummers, and I asked him, what drummers do you think are advanced? He started naming them off, and then I was like, wait, you're starting to name off the legends now. Like, now this is a whole other class of drummers you're naming off. And he was like, well, you asked me who I thought was advanced. And obviously, to him, those legendary drummers are advanced. And when I posted this clip on Facebook, it kind of, took off in the comments there. And people were having all kinds of opinions and thoughts about the legendary drummers and whether they're advanced or whether they're not advanced, or if all legendary drummers are advanced, or if all advanced drummers are legendary, and what it means to be like, what's the prerequisite to being advanced? I feel like that's more clear cut, but what's the prerequisite to being a legend? Not so much.
Yeah.
Can you be legendary without being advanced? I think that one comment said it all. Ringo Starr. Yes, you can be legendary without being advanced.
This is true.
He was a part of a legendary band, the Beatles.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of what being legendary is, especially for a drummer, you know, because you're going to become legendary for the project you're a part of,
right?
For impacting the culture.
True.
Got you. So impact is.
I think that's a big part of what legendary.
Okay.
I mean, that's everything.
I can rock with that.
Your impact on the culture, like how relevant are you? Like,
right.
What's your legacy?
Right. Like, I agree with that, because I feel like even in hip hop, the producer Jay Dilla, right? You've heard Robert Glasper probably talk about it a lot, about how Jay Dilla, he didn't even play drums. He was a producer, but he changed the way drummers play the drums. So would we call him a legendary drummer? He wasn't even a drummer, but he was a producer. That's definitely a legendary producer for sure.
A legendary producer that influenced.
The influence then, right? The impact and the influence that actually caused drummers to
whole generation of drummers
to start playing a certain way.
Yeah.
And a whole feel of music that kind of came, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say impact is a huge...
He's drumming on that MPC.
And the feel of it all of that.
Yeah, he's a legendary groove maker. You could at least, at the
Right.
very least, you know.
But obviously he wasn't an advanced drummer, right?
Yeah.
But like technically where he can, play a bunch of rudiments and have four-way independence and knows all of his Latin grooves with authenticity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you
samba versus a bossa.
Listen, if you start playing Latin grooves, the Latin groove authenticity police is coming for you.
Oh, they're gonna get
like,
you.
Wait a minute, bro. I see like you're doing something where that's not how that's not the actual samba note for note. So it's like,
that's the wrong kick pattern, my guy.
like you threw one extra kick in and we don't appreciate it. Matter of fact, we're gonna cite you for that.
Now you're just world beat fusion. You're not-
So I mean, yes, I'll agree. I feel like the impact.
Shout out to all you Latin drummers that think you know what you're doing, because most of you, even the good ones, you don't.
Man.
You know what you're doing here in the United States. Travel abroad and find out what's really popping.
Wouldn't last a day in Brazil, man.
Dude, I went to Cuba and I was like, oh, so this is what it's supposed to sound like. Okay.
Oh, those Cubans, man. Oh, man. Afro-Cubans.
I haven't been to Cuba. I should go to Cuba, man.
Bruh.
What was you doing in Cuba?
Don't worry about that.
Oh, okay,
You asked
well.
too many questions. Don't worry about that.
It was one of those trips, huh?
I was actually down there playing music. It was lit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Was you on tour or was you just traveling?
It was both.
Long story.
Another episode.
Yeah, okay. We'll get into that. I got to ask you about Cuba. It's going to be a
Yeah.
podcast episode called Legendary as Goes to Cuba.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
what other prerequisite would you guys say, require? Maybe being known and having influence is literally the only prerequisite for being
Well,
a
yeah,
legend.
someone said in the comments, like, there's some legends that aren't even known. And that brought up the question of, like, that's like a
That's not a
oxymoron.
legend.
Yeah,
Really-
you can't be legendary. Like, what is a legend? Like, outside of music, just a legend in general. Like, it's a story
think
that is
that
well
all-
known of something that's happened in the past.
It's like
right?
you're in the history books.
Right, whether
You
the story's
impacted
true or
humanity.
not, it's just something that everybody knows. It becomes this legendary tale, this folklore, this thing.
Yeah, you're bigger than life.
Right.
You're a superhero.
Right.
But you can't be, it's like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, it doesn't make a sound.
Yeah, the
You know,
birds
it's
heard
that-
it.
it's
Right, that
whole-
type of legendary situation.
Legendary is only if the metric seems to be kind of popularity, because the Beatles are trash.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, whoa. I'm white, so I can't allow you to say that.
All right, so here's
Legendary is with the hot takes again.
no, listen.
Man, you're gonna
Can't let
you
this slide. Not
Darius-
on my watch.
Darius
okay?
single-handedly is gonna have our Instagram on fire week after week.
Listen, bro.
Come
Okay,
on.
so here's what I'm trying to tell you. Let's take the Beatles versus Stevie Wonder. Okay, every time somebody does a Stevie cover, it's never as good as Stevie Wonder.
Well, I feel like that's not. It's you can't like. It's
Listen, you can't argue my facts right now.
okay. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead.
These aren't opinions.
I'm gonna stand
Facts.
down. I'm gonna stand down.
F-A-X. Facts.
But on the flip, and I agree with you overall. But for the most part, I feel like Stevie's songs were better served by him
Okay.
than by people covering them.
Okay.
And I feel the complete opposite about the Beatles. Every time I've heard it, and I'm like, oh, that song was kind of lit. And then I find out it's a Beatles song, and I go listen to theirs, and I'm like, that's trash. But
Wow.
they did a good job of like writing a song.
What about Hey Jude? I don't know if they wrote Hey Jude. Did they write Hey Jude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
They
about Hey?
wrote
What about
most
Hey
of their
Jude?
songs.
I don't know if I've heard a cover of Hey Jude. So
Oh, I have a cover of Hey Jude for you.
Okay.
I'll play it for you after the podcast.
Yeah. But so I like Hey Jude, and I'm not saying that I don't like any of their songs. I'm saying they're trash. Like if that, I don't know how to quantify
How do you
that
wait?
difference.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
I want you to make that make sense for me. That's all. I want you to.
I think they write amazing songs.
Yeah, they write good songs.
And actually, if you really listen to the production on their albums, it was cutting edge.
And that has nothing to do with the Beatles. That's production.
Well, they were in the studio,
they're-
co-producing that.
they're a
with their
part of the- they're a
producers.
part of the
They were a part
production,
of the
right?
whole process, and there's some cool stuff there. But I think we're digressing.
At me, baby. BeatlesAreTrash.com.
I said what I said.
But
I got in an
no,
argument with white people once because I said I didn't think they were the greatest band of all time. And like that was like they weren't having that.
who would you say is the greatest band?
I don't know, man.
Or
I don't
like
even
who-
know
who-
if I
Bro,
can-
you cannot sit here
I can't even
and
say.
you talk to certain people and tell them that their Lord and Savior, the Beatles,
It's true.
is not listen.
Speaking of, also that spicy Quincy Jones article that came out last year or 2 years ago, or whatever.
When you was talking about the drummer,
He was talking about the Beatles. He was talking about the different drummers, different
He
musicians.
talked
was-
a lot of.
He talked about
brought the smoke. I remember
he
that.
said somebody was banging like somebody was gay. Marlon Brando was banging Marvin Gaye or something.
Wow.
I was like, he was wild. That article was
Jesus
wild, bro.
Christ.
But anyhow,
see, Quincy's probably
That's legendary.
That's legendary. Wow, Quincy's at that age where he don't care though
At all.
He's like, bro, I ain't got. Listen, I done did it all. I'm done.
I'm out of here. man.
Listen, let me tell you guys how it really went.
I gave
okay?
y'all Thriller, homie. We chilling.
Let me tell you how it really went.
But to get back to what you said about popularity, like it's about popularity. I think it's being legendary. It's popularity, but there's something else in there too, right? There's some sauce. Like it's not just you were popular. It's like you did something. You climbed a mountaintop or something.
I mean, but
you
there
know?
is. But what is the mountaintop, right? Because there are a lot of people who were popular, but the Beatles were popular for a very long time, right? And they made the longevity. Made it a thing, and so the drummer being a part of that, you're riding that wave, right?
Right.
So I mean, it's like I don't know, but then again, it's like let me ask you this: if we're watching a NFL football team and they go to the playoffs and then they go to the Super Bowl and win 5 rings 5 years in a row, that's never happened, but let's just say that happened. Would the offensive tackle be considered legendary?
Oh.
Okay, that's a good question.
If he was the offensive,
See, I mean, I guess. Well,
if he was there for all 5,
yeah, all 5. But here's the thing. I guess maybe this is not
What about
comparing
the
apples.
third string offensive tackle?
Or the guy that rode the bench, right? But here's the thing. The reason why that's not comparing, I got to come up with another analogy because I don't think it's comparing apples to apples. The reason why is because there's more than one lineman. Now, if there's only one lineman,
There's only 4 people in the Beatles.
there's only 4 guys, there's only one drummer in the Beatles
Yeah.
at a time. And so if there's only one drummer in the Beatles, then of course he's probably going to get, more contribution.
gonna say.
But if you got like 5 linemen on playing plus a tight end, then maybe this
There's a
guy
lot more
wasn't.
people.
There's more people. So I got to come up with another analogy, but you get where I'm
Yeah.
trying to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's like everybody who played on the Bulls, is considered legendary. Who was on that team that did the three-peat with Jordan? Dennis Rodman became legendary because he played for the Chicago Bulls. He was already dope, but legendary
On the right team.
when he won 3 with the Bulls.
Scottie Pippen, Steve Kerr, like everybody.
Everybody,
became
if they weren't
legendary.
on that team, would they have been legendary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're legendary though because they were a cultural phenomenon with Michael Jordan.
The
leading-
stars aligned.
and it made it a thing. Now Steve Kerr, he could shoot. He was a beast, right?
Right.
All of those, but who talks about Luke Longley, right?
Yeah. Is he a legend?
He was on the team. Some
about,
might
like-
argue that he was.
And to bring it back to the Beatles,
Longley
like
had a
Billy
jumper, though.
Preston like played keys on a lot of their stuff.
Yeah.
Is he a legend?
Well, Billy Preston is definitely a legend.
He is a legend.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
He's a legend without the Beatles, though.
That's true.
So
true.
that makes that kind of unfair, right? Because he was just a legend. He was already
But now I'm thinking about this though. There are
That's
two
why they
different
got
kinds
him,
of.
because he was already kind of a legend.
or on. Maybe back then they didn't consider him a legend because he was still active and too
in
young.
his heyday. That's
right.
The thing. It's like you kind of have to have the passage of time to
Right.
really be a legend.
Right.
You don't just 3 years into your career. And that's what people throw that around all the time in pop culture. It's one of those like overused terms. People are
Yeah.
always like,
Definitely.
last night was legendary, or this dude is so legend. And he's like a rapper that's been out for like 2 years. Or
Right,
something.
and so
It's
you
like,
have to
no.
wait until you just like what he did, but you have to wait to see if it lasts, if it sustains, because a legend is something that is told over time, right? A legend, a story, like whether it's true or not, it cannot be true.
Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda, the.
Right.
I mean, I had a
You got to
Nintendo
be
back in
on
the day,
like
so
biblical status. Like you got to be like mythical.
mythical
that
is a that's all I'm saying. So just because you're a legend, I guess the moral of the story is just because you're a legend doesn't mean you're actually a dope player. It just means that you were a part of something that contributed to the culture
Not
and the
necessarily,
influence.
though.
What do you mean?
Because there are two different types of legends.
Okay.
Since we're talking about music,
Okay.
Dang, I feel like this is going to be blasphemous to say, but I'm going to say it. Dang, I don't want to say this.
That's your job.
That is
Right.
you're obviously the hot take guy. So I'm just glad it
I
ain't me.
feel like Ringo Starr is a legend because of how big the Beatles are. I feel like Thomas Pridgen is a legend because of how he has influenced musicians, but he's not Ringo as far as that popularity thing goes.
Well, he hasn't
if
played
you
in a
understand
Well, he hasn't played in a band that was that big for that long.
But amongst the people who play,
Yes.
Thomas is a legend, and he has influenced.
Well, some people will say that he's not a legend yet because he's still
Still out here and
In
still
his
young.
And yeah, doing his
heyday or
thing.
whatever. You almost have to be past your.
You can't. It's like nobody will ever say that there's a rapper that's better than Tupac or Biggie until that rapper is gone. Like whenever Jay-Z's not here anymore, people already call Jay-Z. They're starting to call him legendary now because he's not really putting out music anymore.
Exactly. Now he's just like, I'm a mogul.
Yeah,
I'm just moving billions around.
But Jay-Z's gonna be talked about like that.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Kanye might get talked about like that. Might.
Oh yeah, I think Kanye is
Legend.
legend.
Yeah, it's gonna be a legend. He just is. Not his music was dope the whole time. Plus, all of the cultural
He's a pop culture
pop
phenomenon.
because more than
too.
just rap. It's more than just music
Yeah,
with
at
Kanye.
this point, his Instagram is part of the legend. Like,
It's just ridiculous. It's a legend. It just is what it is. So I feel like
But I feel like these people are already legends because now we have a metric as to the legendary status is your influence, right?
Yep.
So if we can see that you've already influencing and you are influencing, then that's why we can call you a legend without having to wait for the passage of time.
right,
to
like
figure it out.
I
You know
already
what I
I
mean?
have in my mind who I know who's some legends that they're gonna be legends.
Yeah, yeah,
Already
yeah.
that they're still alive, they're still young enough, they're
Yeah.
still touring, they're still playing, but they're gonna be legends. Like Thomas is gonna be one of the legends.
Yeah.
Eric is gonna be one of the legends. Chris Coleman is gonna be one of the legends. Ronald Bruner, definitely a legend. And
Yeah.
so many more that are out here, especially when you look at like some of these guys have already done some really legendary stuff. You look back at their discography. If you've
It's
seen
nuts.
all the people like that are legends that Ronald Bruner's like recorded with. You know what I'm saying? Like
oh yeah,
What's his name too? Deitch, Adam Deitch. I was looking at his catalog the other day. I was like,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
played with everybody.
and so there's some legendary guys that are out there. Now and I guess legendary there's also like legendary to your circle, to your sphere, right? Because there are legendary drummers and musicians who everybody may not know because they've just been
They're not
backup
a
drummers
household
for
name.
but they're just backup drummers for an artist. So they're not a household name. Like
Boots.
who?
Courtney always playing me this dude named Boots.
I can't
Well, basically, any of these
Remember his
drummers,
name.
we know about them, like Thomas Pridgen, Eric Moore, all these cats. But if you
Everybody
ask
knows about
the
them
average person in the street,
Yeah.
that's
No.
a
They're-
music head that's like really into
Right,
this
right,
stuff,
right,
they're
but-
like, they don't know them, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean they're not legend. They're not on their way to being legendary.
Right. So now I just got a couple names that came to my mind. Like, so when you think of like a Gerald Hayward that has played drums for everybody
Literally.
in pop music, and then you have, a Brian Fraser Moore who
Yeah.
plays for like this guy in the last few years before the pandemic. From what I remember, like I know he's like played with Justin Timberlake, Madonna, like and it's like for him, he's one of those guys that's like tour after tour after tour
Yeah,
after tour.
yeah, just insane.
And everybody doesn't get that, right? There's people who tour with, I toured with Lady Gaga, I toured with whoever, but it's not like tour, like I'm leaving Lady Gaga to Justin Timberlake to Madonna to Usher to, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like he's one of those guys. And so in that realm, he's going to be considered a legend for the contribution
Yeah.
that he's done.
But musicians are going to know him.
Yes, but that's in that realm. That's what
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
a musicians podcast. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as we're talking about, because even to this musician world, this community that we're talking about of musician nerds that know about all these players, there's a lot of us though still who look at the Ringo Starrs and go, no, that guy's a legend, or look at the John Bonhams and be like, he was no matter what else was going on culturally in music, that's how they feel.
Right.
And I get it because that drummer influenced them and had that kind of influence and sway on how they played, or maybe it's what they first ran into. Like for those of us who played in church, we're not going to get away from Calvin Rogers. He is an absolute, hands down, he is like one of the legends of our generation.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was Calvin.
Disgustingly so.
But there's drummers before Calvin that Calvin will tell you about, like, no, these were the legends before me in gospel, right?
In that world.
Yeah. And so Joel Smith, right? And he's from the Bay Area. He played bass, but he also played drums on like Walter Hawkins records and stuff like that. Legend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, all of the different genres and things that are like, because the drummers that influence a lot of people that I hear them talk about, bro, I didn't hear any of those. I didn't grow up listening to the Beatles. I didn't grow up listening to the Eagles or grow up listening to John Bonham or any of that. I grew up listening to different music, and so these were my legends. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so I think that everybody kind of has their own legends, and I get it because those are the drummers that had, or the musicians that had that kind of influence on you. And I really feel like that impact and influence matters depending on your sphere of knowledge.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind
We
of
don't all know there's certain things that everyone knows about, like Michael Jackson or something.
Sure.
It's like everyone knows he's.
But I never knew Sugarfoot was his drummer.
Right.
Right.
Like, I didn't care about that.
Right.
I didn't know anything about that. I actually, honestly to God, until he was like on you started seeing him on the internet because he was on Drumeo or whatever the case.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And I heard people tell me about him and things of that nature. And I see the guy, I was like, oh, this is the legendary guy that was playing the grooves. And he's legendary. Why, though? Because he
Was a part
was
of that.
on the shows. I mean,
Because
he
he was
toured.
a part of something
That was legendary.
that was legendary.
Are there any standalone legendary drummers?
Yes.
Who are they?
That's the answer to me is absolutely.
Like Buddy Rich. I mean,
He's
'cause
one.
He's a band leader, So it's kind of like, I think a lot of times drums is a supporting role.
Well, it is in most cases. But legendary to
Elvin
who, right? Because, like,
Jones, yeah.
when we're talking about drummers, yes, there are standalone drummers that are legendary because they've influenced the way we play. So whether you're talking about a Buddy Rich or a Tony Williams or a Elvin Jones or like, there's too many guys that I can actually name from back then all the way up to now, to Steve Gadd, to the Vinnie Calutas, to even newer, like the Nathaniel Townsleys and the Carter Bufords and Dennis Chambers and all of these. And because Dennis Chambers he's a legend for me, because I remember watching his In the Pocket
Shout out.
VHS tapes and the Serious Moves tapes when I was coming up, and how that changed what I thought about drumming. But then when I was like in high school, my senior year, and I went to drummerworld.com and I got introduced to a whole slew of other things, it was like, wow, these drummers are and standalone. Like, that's what Modern Drummer was doing for the longest with the Modern Drummer Festival and Drummer of the Year and all that. Like, who's the most influential drummer and how they became there are standalone.
Well, and this created a whole world of drumming and I feel like drumming is one of the most kind of solidified worlds of like the different musical instruments, I don't know if that makes any sense, but just drummers are very much like that community seems like stronger in a way than like the bass player community or something like that. I don't know. It's just maybe just because drummers are so full of themselves. I don't know.
Shout out to the drummers. Y'all
I don't know what it is, man. Well,
tripping.
drummers, like, we get together and drummers shed together. Drummers,
There's more of that going on.
But other instruments used to do it all the time too. I remember reading the Miles Davis biography, and it talked about how he used to, shed with Dizzy Gillespie and Bird.
Yeah. Well, and people back then used to shed more because there wasn't the internet and all these other ways.
They got
connect. So
together.
it's just like you get together at someone's house
And be like, what are you doing, bro? What was that?
Yeah.
The type of vibe. And so, like, at the end of the day, I still feel like that type of thing is useful.
Oh, yeah. Bring that
And
all the way.
I could tell you in church culture that happens, though. Like, drummers still shed left and right. When I say church culture, I mean black church culture. I don't know what happens if they do that in other church cultures, but I know that
Catholic church. Do they get
In the Catholic church, the shed is when they
or in
pull
the
up
CCM
and,
church. I just don't know if they.
Oh yeah, at the CCM church and the Catholic church, we definitely eat the potato salad with the raisins in it. We do
Wow, not with the raisins in it.
At the CCM church, they shed those four chords.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, we know those four
that they're reading
chords
from the
for
charts,
days,
right?
Baby. Yeah, right.
They shed the four chords that they're reading from the charts. I'm not mad at him though. But
Like the jam in the jazz world, like the jam sessions are alive and well.
Yeah.
That's still going on. Get out there and go to a jam session.
Yeah.
Side note, shout out to Sam and them doing it. What's it on at the thing on Thursdays?
It's not at a set routine yet, so I don't know when the next one.
Never
is,
mind, cut that
We'll
out.
be out there. We'll be out there. I'll let you know.
Anybody that's
Edit
listening to the
that
podcast in the Sacramento area will tell you what's up.
We'll tell you what's popping.
But
Yeah.
yeah, man, listen, I want you guys in the comments, let me know who you guys think is a legendary drummer, musician, and what's the difference between a legendary advance, if there is one. What you guys think about it? Because on Facebook, you know, they've been going in about it.
It was a little spicy.
You know what I'm saying? So what
Per
you
my
guys think?
last
Let us know.
email.
All right, we can call this podcast. And,
Yeah, it was lit. Legends out here. I am legendary, so my opinion matters the most. Beatles are trash.
He was born a legend.
That's right.
Yeah, appreciate you. Music and them podcasts. Download the DrumTrax app
You know what to
right
do.
now and go shed. Go shed. Go shed.
We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Holla.
Peace. Fam, it's your boy Damani. I hope you enjoyed the video that you just watched, and I hope you liked the video. I hope you left a comment, and I wanted to invite you into DrumTrax Premium. We literally have over 350 drum lessons, over 250, over 300 by now, drumless tracks, a community in the private Facebook group of drummers that we go live with and do live drum coaching every single week. We want to help you find your voice and explore your creativity on the drums. We can do that with DrumTrax Premium. You can find the links in the description of this video, and if you're looking for more content, you can click one of the videos that are showing up on the screen right now and check them out. All right, fam? I look forward to seeing you in more videos, and I look forward to seeing you in DrumTrax Premium. All right, fam. Peace.